that declares marijuana to be illegal, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's problematic for states who have chosen that, where they're headed for big.
I think those state laws are all unconstitutional.
Oh, wow.
And I've heard that argument. All right.
And the awkward, that was so awkward. Let me just put that back. It's such an awkward silence because everybody there smokes weed. And you know, I have nothing against weed. One of the smartest person, actually not one of, the smartest person I've ever met, or the smartest person I know, smokes copious amounts of weed. So I'm not going to, I can't blast weed. But he's a lawman, so he's telling you like it is. He's saying, basically the state, you know, hey, you want to sell weed? That's fine. But if the big boy, if daddy, federal government says no, they will put a stop to it. I don't think it's going to happen. But just watch how quiet it gets.
State laws are all unconstitutional.
Oh, wow.
And I've heard that argument too.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, the bottom line is marijuana is, people that smoke pot, don't worry about it. Even if it's legal or illegal, it is illegal in this state. I'll tell you that. Now I can fucking walk right down, I don't know, maybe 100 feet down the block and get some weed. So it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect anybody that smokes weed. Again, this is my PSA. I would suggest to everybody out there, and this is the weed dealer. The weed dealers are going to get mad, but I don't care. The weed manufacturers, listen. If you don't have a good ass job, let's put it this way: if you got a great job and you're happy with that job, make sure you're happy with it. Because believe me, once you start smoking pot, you ain't gonna go nowhere. So if you have a job where you're happy, or you're very successful, or you're very rich, knock yourself out. Smoke weed. Smoke it all day long. But I will say this from personal experience. If you don't have a job that you love, or you don't have $1 billion or $1 million, and you smoke weed, well, you're going to be pretty much stuck there. So you need to, and then again, please, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear Seth Rogen call me and saying, you don't understand. I always smoked weed and I was broke when I started. Now look at me. All right, good for you. I'm not saying everybody. What I'm trying to say is weed is cool if you know what, if you just want to chill. But if you want to fucking soar like the Eagles, you got to put the pot down. If you want to hang out with the pigeons, you know, maybe like, what else flies low to the ground? Turkeys don't fly, but they kind of flap their wings. You know, like a chicken maybe. Any of those big birds, you know. You want to stay down low to the level, then you smoke your weed. You have a good time. Everybody's cool. You got the pigeons and shit, and you got squirrels you can chill with. But if you want to be an eagle or a hawk, what's another cool bird? But if you want to be an eagle or a hawk, you got to fucking put the weed down, put the alcohol down. Now, I'm not saying you got to put the cigarettes down, although that is much more harmful for you physically. But if you need to smoke a cigarette or whatever to get you through your day, do what you got to do. And a drink also. Well, you know what? Again, I'm going on a slippery slope. I don't want to get into smoking weed versus drinking because I believe that smoking weed is much better for you than drinking. I really believe that. I don't give a shit. And just the way you act and behave. If I have 3 shots, well, that's 3. If I have 5 shots of tequila, or as opposed to having 5 tokes of a fucking blunt, believe me, you're not going to want to be around me with 5 shots of tequila. I mean, you might if you're crazy and you want to have a crazy time and get in trouble or get arrested. But if you smoke weed with me, well, I don't smoke anymore. But if you want to smoke weed with me, it would be simple. I would sit down and just talk to you. You know, about anything. We'd have a good time, you know what I mean? But what are we talking about here? We're talking about, I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about John Bolton here. Anyway, my point is, if you're going to smoke weed, make sure you have a fucking good job and you're successful. And that goes for the people too. I got to say one more thing, man. If you get a neck tattoo and you're not fucking famous or rich, or again, doing something that you really love and you don't plan on, don't get a neck tattoo. Listen, all right, you know what? Listen, everybody with the neck tattoo is going to call me and say, fuck you. Hey, I don't have a problem, bro. You have a neck tattoo? Good for you. But then you better be a fucking really rich, successful guy or a very happy, homeless guy. Because nobody is going to hire you with a neck tattoo. I mean, well, let me take that back. Yes, I mean, I'm sure there are places like the old Rusty Puss over here in the corner. The Rusty Puss is a bar. It's called the Rusty Pussy. I didn't want to say the pussy word because I didn't want to say it out loud. But it's called the Rusty Pussy, and it's like a cat out there, you know, big, a scary cat. And they had some mean-looking motherfuckers working there. But if that's what you want to do, fine. That's not my point. If don't get a neck tattoo and don't smoke pot, you can get a neck tattoo and you can smoke pot. If you're successful, if you're rich, and if you're very content where you want to be for the rest of your life. And I have tattoos, you know what? And my tattoos are horrifying. But at least there are spots where if I have to go for a fucking interview, they're not going to see them. Although one time I went for an interview and the lady made me take my whole clothes off, except for my underwear, and like jump on one leg, jump on the. I mean, it was the most embarrassing. I was a young boy. I was like, I'm not going to tell you how old I was. I don't want to get this person in trouble. I wasn't a boy. Let's put it this way. I was in my 20s. I think I was 21. But it was a job interview, and I was the strangest job interview, and it was a big lady, and I wanted the job. And I did. I didn't have to do anything sexual, but I looking back at it now, I was like, that was a weird interview, jumping in my underwear. Especially for a fucking job at Home Depot. But not Home Depot. Take that back. Cut out the line. It wasn't Home Depot. It was another club. Anyway, back to my story. Don't smoke pot. Do not get a neck tattoo unless you're successful. That's all. So, all you potheads, I love you. Because I was one for a long time. Not really a long time, but I was one for a few years. And it's very enjoyable. Much different than drinking. For me, anyway. But I got laid a lot more. I did get laid a lot when I was drinking. Maybe it's not the drinking. It's the fact that I was socializing. I was in a bar. It could be that reason. But also, when I was drunk, I was more of a dancer. I would go to the clubs and I would dance. I'd be amazing. One time we went to a Russian club in Brooklyn. I don't know if it was called Rasputin. I doubt it. And I was with a couple people. None of us were Russian, but we were from Brooklyn. We were from the neighborhood, so we went in there, and they had this thing called this Russian song, and I don't know the name of it. But we did a dance, and I was kicking my feet. I was folding my arms, and I was kicking my feet like this. And I had, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we're fucking doing that, and I had a great time. I was a young man. I was like 16, 17 years old. The place was probably full of the mob, Russian mob probably back then, Italian mob, whatever was over there. But I was a young dude, so you know I was fine. Anyway, let's get back on track. Everybody, have a good day.